Ladies and gents, hello. If you have been paying attention to the Age of Empires scene recently, there's been a new expansion with the Sicilians and the Burgundians being added to the game. And I don't know if there's ever been civilizations added that have caused quite as much controversy. We're not going to get into Burgundians, but I just have felt as though we haven't seen a lot from Sicilians since they've been introduced to the game. And we've got an interesting game here, so we're just going to briefly overview the bonuses of the Civ because that's all we're going to talk about in this game. I want to make sure I'm getting things correctly. So, castles and town centers build faster. Land military units receive 50% less bonus damage. That doesn't really matter here. Farm upgrades provide additional food and then can build the donjon. And then the sergeants is their unique infantry unit. We'll be seeing a lot of that here today. First Crusade is also a really cool upgrade, which spawns more sergeants. And then Scootage is something we probably don't need to talk about, but you can read through that yourself if you'd like. Anyways, what I need to do is actually tap into Capture Age 14 here. And oh boy, we've got a good one. This is on Arena. So Phantom of the Arena is a player from Germany named Running. One of the most improved players over the past year in our community. I think his main nickname is sitting at 40th or 45th on the ladder. Over 2,300, 2,350, something like that. Like insane numbers. And most players in our community who... it's just very common for players to have an account for when they're feeling really good and they want to see how high they can get their elo, and then when they just are kind of screwing around a little bit, they have another account, and that's why Phantom of the Arena is here. But I think he's still like 2K2. It actually really bothers me because I play him and I don't get his points if I beat him. Like I played a 2-hour arena game against him. And I was so long, it's not worth it. And then I ended up losing, and I was just like, dude, at least, like, if I'm going to go through this, give me your puntos. But the points is not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss Doubt and Phantom of the Arena on playing Sicilians. And I think maybe the one thing that will show us what Sicilians are made of is a Sicilian mirror matchup, because otherwise right now, kind of does feel like the Sicilian tech tree is a little weird. I mean, it's such an awkward civ. There's nothing special about the tech tree. Their blacksmith upgrades don't excite you. They get Cavalier with full upgrades. They get Archer Line that do not get the final armor. They don't get Bombard Cannon. I don't even think their monks are good. I mean, it's just that the farms at 50% less bonus damage, and then maybe the TC's building faster, which can be great, and then I come back always to the Sergeant. And oh boy, we're going to see some sergeants in this video. I don't know why I made that weird noise. But Doubt doesn't know why he can't push in this Ibex right now. Doubt is an interesting character, man. He's so good. But yet, the small stuff sometimes seems to be problematic for him. I mean, in some ways, he's one of the best at never getting pop capped. So that is something, like, out of all the top 20, let's say, and I'd say he's certainly in the top 20. He doesn't get pop capped too frequently. But like pushing in the deer, it just looks so painstakingly difficult for him compared to other people out there. I mean, Doubt's better than me in a lot, but what? Come on, man. I definitely have pushed in the deer a lot faster. There we go. And maybe, no, it's gonna, okay. There. All right, that's fine. You know what? We'll take it. Does he have any more? Okay, thank God. I don't know if I could watch any more of that. Well, the good thing about Arena is you have the time. There's aspects of Arena that I'm not a fan of. Like for the reason I like Arena is actually why I hate Arena too. Oh! Okay. Mistake there from Phantom of the Arena, as he has just killed his boar with his town center. He's probably like, hopefully T90 is not watching this. Hopefully this is not going to go to YouTube. But oops-a-daisy there. Normally you weaken the boar, and then you finish it off with the villagers. A lot of high-level players are doing that now. It's more efficient to get it underneath the TC and all that. Let's see if we can do it around 2. Yeah, that should be fine. There you go. Got it. Wow. But yeah, I mean, back to what I was saying about Arena. Listen, when I play, I like to take advantage of all the various time windows this game offers. Dark Age, for example. Drushing, walling, all those things are very important. Feudal Age, there's a variety of different decisions and moves you need to make. Constant decision making. The reason I'm not a massive fan of Arena when it comes to playing perspective is because it removes half of that. It's mainly about the mid game and then the late game, but that's also why I appreciate Arena from a casting perspective. It's just not for me when I play, because I find it a little bit more boring. But some people like it, and some people excel in it, running very good on these types of maps. I've told this story before to my community, but you guys might not know this. So just to give you an idea of running's history. So before DE came out, most of the dedicated members were playing on what's called Vubli. As we had the scouts fighting, scouts losing and the gate closes. Okay. And so on Vubli, I remember running was around 1800 or 1900 rated. And I was around like, mid 2K. So I was playing him, back then there was no ranked queue, so I was playing him when I was a full 150 elo above him. And he would just play all the time. He was always down to play some games, play. And I remember I was at 2120 or something. I'd never reached 2K2. And I saw this running guy around 1950, 1900, and I joined, and we played 9 times in a row. I beat him 9 times in a row. He fed me to 2K2. Then all my friends gave me crap because they were like, who did you feed off of? You know, it wasn't a true 2K2 because it wasn't actually facing against someone at that level. But I did it, and now here he is, and he's facing up against Doubt in the YouTube video. I mean, like, what improvement he's had. And I was able to do training games with him and play against him. He's just so good nowadays. And the thing about him is he is very good on Arena, but he was born in the openness of Arabia. He played a lot of Arabia, so he's very good there as well. But I don't know if he watches my videos too much. I talk to him, you know, and whatnot on Discord, but I'm not like, hey, you watch my videos? That'd be a little weird for friendship. So, anyways, props to him is my point, to be able to make it top 30, top 40, which is, I think, where he's at his main nick. Give Viper some problems in some small tournaments and things like that is pretty cool. And here, actually, recover economically after losing the boar. Doubt's gone for a completely different approach here. He has a lot on gold. So I think this is a weird one. He's going stable and market. So I guess he's just going to buy food. He doesn't have any farms. Oh, of course. Doubt he probably wanted to delay farms until after Horse Collar, right? Because after Horse Collar, your farms get so much food on them with Sicilians. It's very typical of Doubt, you know, just to experiment with different strats, but it's probably not 100%. But yeah, Dark Age farms were needed here for Phantom, and Phantom or running is, he's going for a different approach here. He's just gone Blacksmith Market. Requires one less building to do that, but with Doubt's approach, he has a stable. And then with the stable, he's probably going to make scouts, which is kind of that arena meta, to secure the map and take the relics, which can be really important. You know, the reason relics aren't prioritized as much on maps like Arabia is because there's other things to focus on. There's actual ways to do damage to someone's eco. Here, not really. So it's so easy to just focus on the relics. The other reason is it's all kind of shifted towards the middle. And in general, this map control is really important too. You want to stop them from building any castles or any siege workshops or any forward buildings. So I guess it's easy to do. It's easy to focus on. His Doubt is now, holy moly, man. He is... He's making use of Sicilians. He's not going to make a single farm until after the Castle Age farm upgrade. Woo! Do not recommend, but absolutely love the fact that Doubt is still managing to make scouts and do this. Anyways, over here, running is probably going to drop a second TC right away. We'll see if he even goes for Monastery, though, because trying to compete for, and he'll see the scouts now, but trying to compete for relics when the enemy has scouts, well, it's not really competing. You're just hoping they make a mistake at that point. So, all right. TC. Now, TCs build faster, a lot faster. So this boom gets started quicker with Sicilians than any other civilization. And that's a TC on stone. So maybe thinking about a donjon. Donjon is a building that's only 200. I think it's 100 wood and shoot, I think it's 75 wood and 200 stone right now. And it's a little building that can produce sergeants, which is their unique infantry unit. And then sergeants are real cool because they can actually make their own dungeons. A bit of a weird design. And now what we're going to do is we're going to tap into Doubt's game. We're going to tap into the game, excuse me. And I want to see how much food is on the farms because Capture Age doesn't show that. Oh! Let's click one anyways. That doesn't help. What have we done? I'm so sorry. And I don't even want to re-record this. That's normally how I do it with Capture Age. Capture Age goes at its own pace. But someone else can do the math for me. There's going to be some MVPs in the YouTube comments who are going to go through how much food a Sicilian farm has after Horror Scholar, after this farm upgrade, and then after the crop rotation upgrade. But I actually going to speed up a little bit, right? Because I know my YouTube audience anyways. And I know if you haven't already sped forward just a little bit, you're a little tempted. You know that on Arena, it builds up to a certain thing. I can see when you guys skip my videos, you know? I mean, it doesn't say like, this user skipped video. But I can see it in the analytics. I know you guys get bored with the middle of games. Not all of you. Some of you have fallen asleep. Wake up, you know? But, anyways, just shoot off a little bit of time there as Doubt is trying to catch up with the boom. So, the only downside of going for... I mean, Doubt's farm approach is unique, right? You don't necessarily have to do that. But the downside of the scout build is purely just delaying the town centers. As you'll fall behind in eco. And you can look now at this point of the game. Running has over 5,000 food. Doubt has 700 food less than that. He does have a lot more gold, but he also mined gold to buy things, which is a little weird. It's not just the relics paying off for him, but that will pay off. But all 5 relics, I mean, this is going to get to a point where having that is massive for Doubt. So it's really going to be on running to kill and do damage. And it's a Sicilian mirror matchup. Anytime you see a matchup of the same civilization, you're normally trying to decide what's going to be the best unit comp. And so I kept coming back to this one in my mind when I knew this game was happening. And I was just thinking, well, you could expect Sergeant and maybe go Arbalest. But I looked at the stats on the Sergeant, and Elite Sergeant's pretty strong. Kind of comparable to a Samurai in some ways, except for the attack speed. But 8 Pierce Armor, I think it's way more than the Samurai. 8 Pierce Armor, so pretty good against Arbs. And also can produce so many of them because you can produce them out of dungeons. So might see a few dungeons in our near future, guys. As Doubt, as the scouts around, you knew the castle was going up. There's Doubt's face, actually. Doubt known for not being able to complete castles. Hopefully that will not happen with the Sicilians here because they build a whole lot faster. And Doubt just going super ultra mega boom right now. 5 town centers. And I think it would behoove running to do the same thing because with the First Crusade upgrade, you get 7 free sergeants. They pop out instantly out of each TC with a max of 5. So adding new TCs would make sense, right? Opposed to 21 sergeants, you're going to get 35. Which, I want to hear your thoughts on this, YouTube. Because basically Sicilians and Burgundians have been discussed a lot. They basically introduce things to the game that are not like Age of Empires 2 and more like Age of Empires 3 and things like that. Now, with 37 civs in the game, they probably had to be a bit different in how they made the civs. That said, things like Flemish Revolution, where you can instantly get 100+ military, I mean, that one for sure is just over-the-top ridiculous, I think, and not Age of Empires 2. It seems super gimmicky. And then just getting instant units. What are your thoughts on getting instant units? Does that bother you? Are you chill with that? I'm just curious. Because for me, that was kind of a tough pill to swallow. Flemish Revolution, certainly, but just instant units. I know the Cumans have the Cuman Mercenaries tech, which gives them 10 free kip checks. But it's not instant. It doesn't pop out of the castle. You have to produce them. That's Age of Empires, right? There's a lot of stuff which are cheap or discounted or exciting in some way. But, like, it's not free. It's not or it might be free, but it's not instant. Now, this is pretty cool, actually. Check this out. So I'm going to zoom out. They're both getting First Crusade right now. They both have 5 TCs. Just watch the units. It's almost at the exact same time. Units here, boom! Both their scores shoot up. And say hello to 35 military population, which is actually the only military population Running has at the moment. Because he didn't make any military this game, and he lost his scout. Dell has 3 scouts, 2 monks, and then 35 sergeants, and he's about to have 37. Oop, nope. I wonder if that resistance helps against conversions. Now, this is why you probably came to the video. Look at these dungeons. This is cool. The fact that a military unit can build a building that you can produce more of its own kind out of is insane, and it just looks ridiculous. They carry swords. They carry hammers. They do it all. An elite sergeant is on the way now for Doubt, as I think elite sergeant is already... No, it's not already in. Now it's coming in for Running, and this game went from 0 to 100 really freaking quick. What is this? Upgrades are going to be important. The dungeons also do shoot arrows, which will be helpful, but I feel like it's not super helpful right now as it doesn't have the most attack. So they're just kind of building and fighting and building and fighting. Imagine having to go to war. Imagine having to sacrifice your body for the cause. And then in the middle of battle being told you have to go build something. I mean, that's just too much. Fight here looks slightly better for Running. And, you know, this whole build-up is really going to come back to, can Running kill and take advantage of all the golds that are on the map before the relics kick in for Doubt. Sergeants are not hugely expensive when it comes to gold. I think they're only 25 gold, but you might want to double check on that. And Running just has, I want to say, about 5 to 10% more in these fights. He's working with 6 dungeons as opposed to 5 for Doubt. And Doubt's about to lose 1 to a trebuchet. And dungeons are a little deceiving because they only have 2,000 HP. They look like they would have a lot more because of their size. So they'll go down pretty quick. They're especially weak in feudal age. And so Running with some considerable lead with the fights, and you can see that resulting in the KD here. And if you're liking your production, you could just make another one. Make another dungeon. So we have sergeants taking out a dungeon built by sergeants, defended by sergeants. Huh. This is Sicilian madness right here, man. The Running can take that gold, and Running can take that stone, and Running is taking out dungeon after dungeon after dungeon. This is interesting for Doubt. He knows that gold is there. He's using a villager, which doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense. I guess she was making outposts. But using a villager to dungeon that gold. Treb's backing all this up is really giving Doubt some problems here. I'm not sure if this fight is great for Running. It doesn't seem like he's really engaged. Doubt is getting the attack upgrades. He's getting Bodkin, maybe even Bracer soon for his dungeons. And that choke's actually helping him because the numbers advantage Running has can't be used. I mean, can't be used all that well, but still there's a massive numbers advantage. Doubt's even trying to keep his castle up. And for the legend, or our lord, he's got to be a little worried here. You now have the extra attack upgrade coming in a little earlier. So we'll probably look at the stats, and Doubt's going to have more gold. But is that helping him here? There's still plenty of gold you can get naturally. Out here, another dungeon. Doubt's raiding with sergeants. On both the golds. There's a chance. Just keep an eye on the queue. Capture Age will show how much is in queue. That's the top left number. And it will also show how many buildings are being queued out of, which are the little circles at the bottom. Always good to be able to see that at a glance without having to double check every one. Thank you, Capture Age. As Doubt's castle goes down, and if he can't defend a castle, as he loses his trebs, it's very possible he cannot defend these dungeons. I think denying the gold is a really good thing, but maybe that's not the way to utilize your dungeons. Utilizing them as towers is a really poor way to change the situation for him. Because his real issue comes back to not resources. He actually has more villagers. He has more on food and more on gold and the relics. It purely comes back to lack of production right now. And so to put these here, now it seems like he's actually sending units over from them. But it is very vulnerable now. That could be taken out. And for running, I mean, he's challenging Doubt. One of the biggest legends of the game, has been around our game for so long, understands the game so well. Also, really good with new civilizations. He's about to potentially take a win against Doubt, but Doubt, his pop's looking good at least. 180 pop versus 180 pop. Is that military count? That's the worry for him, though, as he needs to get that up. He's basically overboomed a little bit here, and if you hold with an overboom, you're going to have a lot more resources banked to last the game. So he's overboomed, plus has some relics. And, oh, sergeants have come to town. By the way, the stats on these bad boys. So 11 base attack plus 4 in imp. 11 plus 4, 15 attack. 85 HP. And you've got that Pierce Armor, which I think makes Arbalest kind of a risky move. Now, Doubt has all of the attack upgrades in the Blacksmith for archers, though, because that applies to his castle. So he might actually, if he feels he's lacking the sergeant numbers, he might actually be tempted to just plop down some ranges to mix it in, because he's got the attack upgrades already. He's going to have the gold. Here again, a situation where Doubt's just out-popped, and running has just consistently been producing those things. And anytime he sees a dungeon, he's just going to dungeon it down. Dungeon it down, he's gonna take it out. Treb's going after this now. Doubt repairing. You can actually repair a dungeon with the sergeant if you'd like. Those villagers are like, we're sergeants now. And chemistry and archer armor for Doubt. So he must be thinking about arbs. You do not get hand cannons with the Sicilians. Again, they're Arbalest lacking thumb ring, lacking last armor. The reason I don't really like this Civ is that they really don't have anything exciting about them, except for this, which is why I wanted to cast this. This is the only Sicilian game which really excited me ever since the Civ came out. Man, that overall KD. I'm actually surprised it's not a whole lot different here. But look at that army value right now. Army value is how many resources it costs to make what's on the field. The percentage is the gold cost attached to it. And this is just a wonderful sight. How many does he have now? 8. Plus the castles could produce. So 10 buildings that can produce sergeants. That's insane. You cannot do that with any other unique unit, really. Except the Huskarl, which I guess is can be produced from barracks after the Anarchy tech. Now, big thing for running here is continue to push this position. And when you're going forward with Trebs, Doubt's going to try and do anything he can to snipe that. He's actually trying with his one Treb right now, which I think is going to be repaired. But Doubt's completely off of gold now. Doubt has no way to harass running. And running is going to drop a castle here. 6 villagers doesn't excite me with any other Civ. With Sicilians, feels really good, man. That castle's going to go up real fast. You could argue that it's a little early here. You haven't taken out Doubt's castle. Doubt has siege behind the walls. So that could also be seen as a huge waste of stone in the second. There will be stone. There will be gold to find in the middle of the map. 63 military versus 19. Doubt is making that Arb transition. Will Arbalest with a mix of sergeants be an option here? Look at this. The sergeants want friends. So, listen, if there's any sergeants watching, all you have to do is just build a dungeon. All right? If you're lonely in these trying times, just build a friend. Actually, don't. Your friends and family are going to start to say you're crazy. Not that I have any experience in that matter. People said it was crazy when I started to talk to people on the internet, so maybe that counts. Ooh, look at this upgrade. Scoot. Wait, did he cancel it? Okay, here it is. Scootage. All right. Now, this is interesting. That's the... I mean, he's completely pop-capped. 66 armies, not bad. He will receive 15 gold for every military unit he has on the field right now. Also has a ton of gold banked already, and then boom, an extra 1,000 gold, not bad. Maybe something Doubt could have used, but then again, you're thinking... I think the units have been the issue, not necessarily the gold for Doubt. That said, running has had a ton on gold throughout this game. Okay, so Arbs do 10 damage. These things have 8 piercing. So it's 2 damage a hit. Now, there is a choke point, and they're firing pretty fast. But at the same time, these sergeants are freaking tanky here. If they get in, they're going to... Quick math here. I don't know how many hits it's going to take. how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. I don't know. But I think they should be getting some kills if they attack. Oh, door! Doubt actually holding on here. And suddenly, it's 50 army versus 55. But a very wise switch coming in here for running. We can't see a lot from the Sicilian tech tree, but they do get Siege Ram and Siege Onager. Siege Onager is actually something that he could maybe afford, but it's going to take time. But what Doubt doesn't have right now is a lot of melee units to be able to take out Siege. Anytime you're up against an Archer Civ, it's making only Archers. Mixing in Siege Ram is such a game changer for you. Granted, Doubt can micro a little bit. You're not going to see higher level or lower level players micro it quite as much, but... Whoa! Whoa! Did you see that bug? There you go, devs. Another thing to your list. That was weird. But they're going to be walking through anyways, and what I wanted to get at is these archers, they automatically attack the closest thing. So if you go ram with sergeants here, there's going to be a lot of instances where the sergeants are going to get in a lot closer than they would have otherwise. And then the rams, if you're taking care of sergeants, you're not able to take care of the rams, and the rams take out your buildings. And Doubt has run out of space here. He lost his dungeons earlier. He's now losing. He's going to lose all of his ranges here, which means even if the Arbalest was the choice, which I'm not really sure it was, he's not going to be able to make any more of them. Would be a classy move from running to maybe run back here and make a dungeon so we could produce more in back of the enemy base, but might not be needed. I think the best unit you can make, and maybe it's getting more and more realistic as people figure out the Sicilian Civ, is the Sergeant. I think maybe in 3 months we will have seen some games on YouTube, some high-level tournaments maybe? Nah, tournaments is a little too far. I don't think it's that good yet, but we might be seeing the Sergeant more and more. I'm constantly reminded as we watch Doubt die and come to terms with reality here, as he calls the GG. It's always funny to think back at times where certain civilizations were not seen as strong. Lithuanians being the craziest one. Hidden Cup 3, Lithuanians was an option. I don't think it was picked a single time. Pros just didn't have it figured out yet. The meta didn't form around it. And like nowadays, the Lithuanians are seen really strong and people know them. So maybe with Sicilians, that will be the case in the near future. But interesting game there. I really do think that if you look at the resources collected here, that Doubt's going to be frustrated with himself. I mean, collected more food, had more gold collected, and would have had more gold long-term with the relics. Purely came down to the queue and production. And so, I mean, I also need to say Running's ability to recover with the fast castle after, here we can tab into the game now and see what the farms have. 600, 900 food! Woo! Do we have any new farms? I don't know, hard to tell. But I got to complete my thoughts here because I'm going to drive you guys crazy. He shot his own boar with his TC, still recovered with a good boom build. And then he just focused on the front. If you're not taking relics, you know you're on the clock. Focus, focus, focus on the front. And it looked really, really strong for him. I don't actually have any way. But trying to do the math in my head, I think it's going to come out to around 900,000 food for the farms of Sicilians at this point. So, GG, an interesting one. One I hope you guys enjoyed. It's not every day that we get to see Doubt playing Arena. It's not every day that we see Sicilians v Sicilians, or even infantry v infantry. So, hey, wait a second. Infantry v infantry. Doubt. Didn't I play a game against Doubt with Goths the other day? Oh, I did. That was awfully done. But, guys, yes, I did. And in a few days, you will get that video. Thank you for watching this one. Looking forward to your comments and likes. And favorite ice cream flavor. No. I would just say something completely random about... I can't edit this out now. Sure, we'll go with ice cream. I can't edit this out. It's going to take like 3 hours to edit this out, and I just ruined it. I was trying to be clever. See ya. I'm done.